For 500 years, we were told it was a lie, a hallucination, a myth born from the fevered dreams of starving explorers. When the Spanish conquistador Francisco de Orellana emerged from the Amazon jungle in 1542, he told a story that sounded impossible. He claimed he saw gleaming white cities stretching for miles. He described roads, massive monumental structures, and a population so dense that the sound of their drums never ceased, day or night. History laughed at him. Archaeologists dismissed him. They said the Amazon was a green hell, a counterfeit paradise where the soil was too toxic and the environment too hostile to support anything more than small, scattered tribes. They erased Orellana's civilization from the history books. But they were wrong, because we just stripped away the trees, and what we found underneath isn't just a few ruins. It is a ghost metropolis that rewrites the entire story of humanity. Orellana wasn't lying. He was the only witness to a world that was about to be erased. Today we are uncovering the truth about the lost cities of the Amazon. And the most terrifying part? It's not how they built it, it's how they vanished. To understand the magnitude of this discovery, we have to go back to the crime scene. The year is 1541. Francisco de Orellana didn't intend to discover the Amazon. He was just trying to survive. His expedition had separated from the main Pizarro party in search of cinnamon and gold. They were starving, eating leather belts and shoe soles to stay alive. Gaspar de Carbajal, the Dominican friar who chronicled the voyage, wrote descriptions that have baffled historians for centuries. He didn't describe a jungle. He described a continuous settlement. He wrote, "There was one town that stretched for 15 miles without a gap between houses." He described raised roads, organized farming, and fine porcelain that rivaled the best in Europe. But when later explorers returned a century later, there was nothing. No cities, no roads, no millions of people, just the thick, impenetrable wall of green trees and small, isolated tribes. So the scientific community came to a logical conclusion. Orellana was a liar. He made it up to impress the King of Spain, or perhaps the heat and hunger caused mass hallucinations. This skepticism became scientific dogma in the 20th century, led by the limited possibilities theory. The logic was simple. Amazonian soil is acidic and nutrient-poor. It's useless for large-scale agriculture. You cut down the trees, the rain washes away the nutrients, and the soil turns to brick. Therefore, a massive civilization physically could not exist here. It was an ecological impossibility. Case closed. Or so we thought, until we learned how to see through the canopy.
Enter LiDAR, light detection and ranging. It's effectively an X-ray for the Earth. By firing billions of laser pulses at the ground, archaeologists can digitally delete the forest, revealing the topography of the Earth beneath. In 2022, a team of researchers flew LiDAR over the Llanos de Mojos region in Bolivia, an area long thought to be sparsely populated. When they processed the data, The images sent shockwaves through the scientific community. They didn't find simple huts. They found monumental architecture. Hidden under the trees were two massive urban centers, Kotoka and Londivar, anchored by conical earthen pyramids standing up to 22 meters tall. That's roughly the height of a 7-story building. These weren't temporary camps. These were engineering marvels. But the pyramids are just the tip of the iceberg. The scans revealed a complex web of causeways, raised roads stretching for miles in dead straight lines. These roads connected the major cities to smaller satellite towns, creating a network that spanned hundreds of square kilometers. They also found massive reservoirs, canals, and water management systems designed to control the flow of water during the rainy season. Why did we miss this for so long? Because unlike the Mayans or Egyptians who built with stone, the Amazonians built with earth. In the humid jungle, stone is rare, but mud is plentiful. They were masters of earth moving. But when an earth city is abandoned, the jungle reclaims it fast. It erodes, it gets covered in vegetation, and it looks exactly like a natural hill. Only from the sky, with lasers, can we see the geometric truth.
But this discovery brings us back to the original problem, the green hell. How did they feed millions of people on toxic, infertile soil? This is where the story shifts from archaeology to lost technology. It turns out the ancient Amazonians didn't just adapt to their environment, they engineered it. Scattered throughout the Amazon, often coinciding with these archaeological sites, is a mysterious substance known as Terra Preta do Indio, Portuguese for Black Earth of the Indian. This is not natural soil. It is a man-made invention. Terra Preta is thousands of years old, yet it remains some of the most fertile soil on Earth today. It was created by mixing charcoal, broken pottery, organic waste, and fish bones into the earth. The charcoal acts like a sponge, locking in nutrients and preventing them from washing away in the rain. But this is the true magic that modern science struggles to replicate. Terra Preta is alive. It is teeming with a specific microbial community that actually grows. Locals in Brazil say that if you leave a layer of Terra Preta alone for 20 years, it will regenerate and expand. It is a self-sustaining biological machine. Think about the implications. We used to look at the Amazon as a pristine wilderness, untouched by man. But the existence of Terra Preta suggests that huge swaths of the rainforest are actually an overgrown garden, a feral orchard planted thousands of years ago. They transformed the soil to support a population that may have rivaled the size of Europe at the time. So, we have the cities, we have the technology, we have the food source. This leaves one haunting question. If millions of people were here, where did they go? Why was the jungle silent when the second wave of European explorers arrived? The answer is a tragedy of apocalyptic proportions. Francisco de Orellana saw the civilization at its peak, but his expedition carried an invisible hitchhiker: smallpox, influenza, measles. The native populations had zero immunity. The diseases didn't just kill, they annihilated. These pathogens travel faster than explorers. The viruses likely raced ahead of the Europeans, moving along those very causeways and trade routes revealed by LiDAR. By the time the next Europeans ventured deep into the Amazon decades later, the cities were already graveyards. With no one left to maintain the earthworks, the jungle struck back. Wooden structures rotted. Earthen pyramids were swallowed by roots. In less than a century, a civilization that stood for 1,000 years was wiped clean from the face of the earth. Orellana wasn't a liar. He was witnessing the final sunset of a world we are only just beginning to rediscover.
The discovery of these lost cities forces us to be humble. It reminds us that history is not set in stone. It is hidden in the dirt, waiting for the right technology to reveal it. The Amazon was not a trap for humanity. It was a canvas for one of its greatest achievements. It makes you wonder, if a civilization of millions can vanish under the canopy, leaving nothing but mounds of earth and strange black soil, what else is buried out there? What other myths are actually memories waiting to be proven true? If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of human history, check out this video on the screen right now. And let me know in the comments, do you think we will find a stone city in the Amazon, or is the Earth itself the only monument they left behind? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.